Hey, woo, I caught you. Hey there, boys and girls. It's Uncle Bryan, Stories Worth Repeating, and Otong here to tell you another story today. And it involves gravity. So, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. Have you noticed I have shorter hair now? If you've been watching some of our earlier videos during the virus time when people were all locked in their homes, my hair got almost as long as Otong's, just not as much. But hey, today's story is the story of Alan. And Alan was a boy that you might recognize. Alan sometimes had parents. Have you ever done that, boys and girls? Have you ever disobeyed your parents? Well, for some reason, Alan didn't like to do what they said he should do. And there was one, won't believe this, one particular area where Alan just continued to disobey. And that was the attic. Now, in his house. And they would, my dogs are barking outside the window. We'll just let them bark. You can scoot over there so they don't see you. Not it, you, but not in the camera. So Alan liked to go up into the attic, and he had been told over and over again, don't do it. It's not a place for boys like you. But he wanted to be there, Otong, because it was a dark place. Maybe it was an adventurous place. Who knows? Maybe because there was old boxes and different things, and he wanted to scout through them and see what was in there. But his parents said, don't you go up there, Alan. And there were times when he would creep up the steps when they weren't looking, and he would start to open up the door, and they'd hear the and they'd say, Alan, what are you doing? Come down from there. And so he'd come back down. Over and over, he would try. And they tried to tell him over and over, Alan, it is not safe. It's not a good place for you. Please don't go up there. But I don't understand. But there was something in Alan's heart that just kept pushing him over and over and over again. And so one day, Mother was downstairs and she was vacuuming and she was doing work in the house there in the living room. And then she went into the kitchen and she began to hear a sound. Kind of like little rats up above. You know, little noise. And she looked around for a second and thought, where's Alan? And she said, Alan, are you up there? She thought, well, that's like a rat or something milling around up there. Can you imagine that? I bet you'd want to climb up there and get it. But all this noise, but she kept doing her work, and then she began to hear a little bit more noise again. And she thought, I wonder if he's up there. And then all of a sudden, directly above her, the roof opened up, and boom, down came Alan, halfway with his legs, and all of a sudden, the rest of the way, right onto a bed, fortunately. He would have been really hurt otherwise had he hit the ground. But he landed on a bed, and the plaster fell down, hit Mother in the head, made a big old mess. And what had happened was, Alan had been walking on the rafters, which he had told not to be doing, and then something happened. He stepped off, and there was no floor to hold him up. And so down he came through the roof. And fortunately, he fell onto a bed, so he wasn't hurt. But when his daddy got home that night and saw the big old hole in the roof and the mess on the ground, Alan probably got a lesson to try to help him remember better. And boys and girls, sometimes lessons get to our minds through other parts of our bodies. And in some of these stories, those parents used that kind of memory technique a little more than some do nowadays. And so Alan got a lesson he wouldn't soon forget about obeying his parents. And you know, the Bible actually talks about that, boys and girls. One of the very first commandments with a promise is the one for boys and girls to honor their father and their mother. Why? So that their days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God gives them. That's found in Exodus 20 and Deuteronomy 5, where you have the reading of the law twice there. God has said, boys and girls, honor your father and your mother. Obey your father and mother so you can live longer. Now you might be saying, what do you mean live longer? Well, because sometimes when boys and girls are when they think they know everything, when you're 7 or 8 years old and you think, I know more than my parents, that's not a very smart way to live. And in some places, you don't live very long. And as Alan learned that day, it could have been much worse. And there's many other boys and girls that they do dumb things because they don't listen to their parents. Believe it or not, your parents want the best for you. And so I want you to think about that. Remember, every time you see a roof from now on, you'll think of Alan falling through and then having an educational experience later that evening with his father and hopefully learning a lesson to obey his parents. So boys and girls, can't wait to see you until next time. So glad you've tuned in. Go and watch more videos from Uncle Bryan's Stories Worth Repeating and subscribe to our YouTube channel there on Gallantly Streaming. I'd love to spend more time with you. Go through there, tell your friends so that we can grow this channel and bless more and more people. May God bless you, and we'll see you next time. So from Uncle Bryan and Otong, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.